In today's YouTube video, I'm giving you guys the best builds here for the new FR Avancer. This new gun is incredibly fun and satisfying to be able to use, so I got a crazy long-range build and a sniper support that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. If you do, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe, those notifications turned on, and let's hop into this. So the FR Avancer is, of course, the brand new assault rifle here in Warzone and, of course, Modern Warfare 2. Very, very easy to be able to unlock and level up. I did it probably within about a couple of games here on shipment with some double XP. I leveled it all the way up to max. And, of course, there's a variant, the Penumbra pack, which you can get all the attachments, so you don't have to spend all the time grinding it out. You can actually have the attachments, you just can't tune it off rip. But nonetheless, this gun is very fun to be able to use, and it's got a few different ways you can actually use it. My personal favorite way is to run it as a true assault rifle as opposed to sniper support, but I have both of those builds, which I'll show you guys here within this video. Break it all down for you just so you can kind of get a real good understanding of how to be able to use this gun and have it be like the most effective it possibly can be. So let's hop into these builds right here so I can show you guys exactly what to be able to run. All right, so I wanted to take it into the firing range here just to show you guys how effective it is. This is of course, a long range build that I got. I'm going to show you guys. So, I mean, look at that. Super low recoil. Super low recoil. And it's going to absolutely fry here at those, of course, close range. It's not going to be the greatest because it is indeed an AR. You're not going to be using it at super close range. But, I mean, at longer ranges, it's going to be real fun. It's going to be real satisfying. But let's actually now hop into the build. So here is going to be my long range build for the FR Avancer. This is what I have currently on this gun at the moment. This has been my go-to for a minute now here. Ever since I've been running, I've been testing out a few different things, and this seems to be the best thing I've found so far. But first thing is going to be the X10 ported. So this can help us out with that vertical recoil control. You guys may be able to go for something like maybe like the FJX or something like that. Maybe these other compensators over here to help with the horizontal and vertical recoil. But I noticed this thing definitely does kick up here quite substantially, and so if you're going to use it as a long range option, I wanted to kind of mitigate that as much as possible. So that's why we have the X10 ported, and I've actually, you can see by the clips there, because this is the exact build I was using, that it actually works out really nicely. The tune on this here is going to be a plus 0.54 and a plus 0.19, geared a little bit more to that recoil stabilization, recoil control. I tried to tune it a little bit faster, but it really didn't work out that great. A little too much recoil for those longer range engagements, so I'd recommend you guys to stay away from making it really, really fast. After that, though, we are throwing on the 600mm FR longbore barrel. This can give us that increase in damage range, hipfire accuracy, and of course, bullet velocity. You really can't complain about this barrel here. I mean, you lose a little bit of ADS speed and a little hip recoil control, but it's not something we really care about because this is a true long range gun, so it doesn't really matter all that much. The tune on this here is going to be a plus 0.32 and a plus 0.23, so definitely try that out. Once again, like I said, you can't really make this thing fast. That ADS speed, aim locking speed, not really ways you can really kind of angle these towards effectively and actually, have a good gun. After that, we're going to go down here, run the FTAC Ripper 56, aiming idle stability, hipfire accuracy, and recoil stabilization. This is something that we've ran on so many guns, and so it's kind of like my go-to to be able to try out here. And when you combine these attachments together, this works out really, really well. Tune that is going to be all they maxed out for recoil stabilization and a negative 0.18 down there for a little bit aim locking speed. The reason I didn't shift it over to aiming idle stability is just because you really don't get anything. Like the sliders, like it doesn't do anything. So I was like, okay, well, at least want to like alter this graph here somehow to get a benefit. And I didn't lose anything by getting aim locking speed, so I just kind of threw that on there. But otherwise, I mean, you don't really get much with aiming idle stability. Now we're gonna go down here. We're gonna run the 60 round mag. So the 60 round mag, I mean, I am a 60 round mag kind of guy. That's what I like to do. But the 60 is indeed the way to go. This thing has a very high fire rate, and you're going to be burning through that ammo very fast. So I definitely do not recommend the 45 in any capacity. I still felt like I was just, going through so many magazines with this gun. And thank God that magazine reload is fast. But the 60 round mag is 100% the way to go on this. And lastly, but definitely not least, the Aim Op V4. This is just the, the precision sight we run on so many of our guns. Works out beautifully, to be honest with you. I mean, it's so good. You guys may even be able to go down here and run something like the SC Recharge DX sight. This is going to be pretty much the same thing, but just visually, it's going to look a little bit different. I think it may slow you down ever so slightly, or actually, I'll take that back. You get a tad bit more accuracy running this thing, but you can pretty much tune it the exact same. But anyways, the tune on this here is going to be negative 1.26, and all they maxed out there on the bottom that far distance, giving us, maximum capabilities here with this gun. This is just definitely a really solid long range build here for the FR Avancer. Now let's actually move on to my sniper support, which will definitely vary up here quite a bit. Now here's our sniper support version of this gun. It's got, of course, like a red dot sight on it, but it's not going to be as effective at those longer ranges because it is indeed sniper support. So I mean, close medium range. I mean, it's gonna be really, really solid. You still are gonna have some longer range capabilities, but it's just gonna be harder to control because that's not what this gun is designed for. It's designed to be a little bit more agile, a little bit more mobile, just because you're gonna be using it as kind of more of like a hybrid. But overall, this is gonna be a really, really fun sniper support. All right, so now we're gonna take a look here at my sniper support. A few things have definitely changed around here, so we're gonna go through and break it all down for you because this is something like you're not gonna be going in there and using this at super long range. It's still effective at longer range, but there's gonna be a little bit more recoil for the cost, essentially, of having you know, more mobility with this gun as opposed to having a longer range being slower. But first thing there is gonna be the Harbinger D20. So we're gonna kind of suppress this gun here. Sound suppression, you get that benefit there, but bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. We needed this as opposed to a compensator, pretty much like, or, you know, I say like compensator, but as opposed to, you know, like one of these down here. We need this just because we're losing a tab of that damage range with the barrel. But you guys will see what I'm talking about. The tune on this here is going to be a plus 0.54 and a plus 0.42. Now we're going to go up in here, and the barrel we chose is going to be the 435 millimeter FR435 barrel. Don't know why they needed to have all that as the name, but this is the barrel. But it's going to give us that recoil control, hip recoil control, and bullet velocity. You do lose a little bit of your movement speed, damage range, for accuracy, and ADS speed. So this is going to be, like I said, more of a sniper support. You're not going to be hitting people at super long ranges, but you're not going to feel that damage range decrease and everything like that because we kind of balanced it out here with the Harbinger D20. So that's kind of why we have that on there. The tune on this here is plus 0.29 and plus 0.17. Now we're going to go down here and run the F-Tac Gripper 56 here once again. Ain't got to mess with this too much here. The F-Tac Gripper is just a very easy thing to be able to use. I mean, I recommend a lot of people use this on a variety of their ARs, so definitely try this out. The tune on that's going to be all they max out once again for recoil stabilization and a negative 0.18 there on the bottom. And we are also going to go down here and run that 60 round mag. Like I said, I'm a 60 round mag kind of guy, but regardless, you may be able to get away with having a 45 on this just because you're trying to go for a little bit more mobility. You probably could try it out, but I would say that for duos, trios, and quads, you probably just want to stick to that 60. I mean, like I said, give it a shot on the 45. You really want a little bit more mobility, but the 60 round mag is going to be the way to go. For last attachment on here, we're gonna go for the Cronin Mini Pro. So the iron sights are actually pretty solid on this, but in Warzone, it's not, you know, it's not like multiplayer where you can kind of get away with iron sights as much. Maybe like the TAC 56, the TAC V, you can because those are real easy. But this gun, I feel like you definitely need a red dot on there. So we're gonna throw on the Cronin Mini Pro. This is the blue dot, red dot sight. My favorite one in the game. You don't need any bundles or nothing, and it just gives you that beautiful blue dot, which makes it easier to kind of like distinguish the red dot from an enemy, something like that. Sometimes this game, things blend in, so that's kind of what it is. But the tune on this here is a negative 1.06, and all I maxed out there on the bottom for that far distance. So that's my full build there for that gun. Overall, the FR Avancer is a gun I'd recommend for you guys to be able to use. It is actually pretty damn solid, but it is not necessarily like super hard meta. There are some guns out that are going to be better, but this fall in line is a very fun meta contending option. With that being said, that's all I got for you guys here today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe for more, and I shall see you guys all later.